Hello, and welcome to Ukversus. I'm going to stick up a nice little meme. Today we don't have that much to talk about, so we're just going to look at the arts ahead, the art revealed ahead of the actual text dropping as of tomorrow. We're going to look at the Jetburn article along with some other information that was put on the website without being announced, which I literally just remembered. And we're also going to take a look at a poll I put up on the UK Facebook group about what possibly should be banned, as well as looking at a new feature that UVS has put up, which is talking about the most popular cards that have been played at events, and seeing if that may impact what UVS decide to actually ban. Of course, I am joined by number one monomer hater Richard Plummer, and I am Brett Pink Flame Pendragon.
Yeah, I don't know what episode this is. I've lost count. You should probably
17? 17.
Yeah, something like that. So I see there's not much to necessarily talk about. Apart from today, I finally got one. I got my mobile girl.
Why is it not in a sleeve? It should definitely be in a sleeve.
Oh, I just took it out of my folder briefly to wave on the stream.
Well, if we're showing off. Oh. Because my lovely friend in America did me a solid and got me the Gen Con promos. And just appears my bubble girl.
But yeah, played the PSC today down in Bexhill. There was 6 of us, which is quite a good turnout. And I played all Giro. So that was 8 flash attacks, and then the 8 Ernie's, and then 2 capture decks. So no mid attacks, and played like the silly Award the Victor combo, as well as obviously standard Soundwave stuff. It was fun. It was decent. I had, the worst Fun Police matchups. In terms of the guys, obviously they were great. But yeah, I had played. So round 1 it was Stain 1. And game 1 was like just the constantly just have -3 to check, and then doing that dance. Game 2 I managed to and sort of scraped game 1, and then game 2 I just full blocked everything and never got a stain online, and then sound waves. Round 2 was against Minetta 2. That was really rough. It was really tough again. Very much squeaked it. I think one game I got to 1 life or something. He was, very new player, but played it very well. But as everyone knows, Minetta 2 is a nightmare to play against because it's constantly debuilding you. Somehow got there. And then round 3, I played against Toru 2. We had a really long game 1 where he got me to 1. Just didn't quite have that last attack, and then I killed on the crackback, and then game 2 we went to time, and I was like halfway through my turn when the 10 minutes finished out, but I had the sound waves and enough momentum and stuff, and that I would have got the kill that turn. So Gary, who I played, he was playing on Toru 2. Who owns the local shop in Hastings that we've got this locals going at now. He got his Nashville's invite, so congrats to him. And I got 1 bubble goal, so everyone was a winner.
Has he actually got the email yet? Because I know the last provision.
It was literally this afternoon, so
I know, but the last provision I took part in, there was only 4 people taking part, and only 1 person didn't have an invite, and then it's been 2 months since then, and they still haven't received their invite. And when they've chased it up with UVS, it's like, we have no record of this event actually taking place, so you don't get an invite. So I'm a little bit skeptical of invites at the minute.
Yeah, I mean that sounds more on the shop or wherever that did the event screwing up than necessarily that being on UVS games. Because like part of the thing to host the provisional is you have to get the organised play team to change the event in the app to a store provisional. You can't do it as the store; they have to do it on the S Games end. So if they never did that, then the event would never have been logged as a store provisional and a nationals qualifier.
That makes sense.
So that might be that.
So you were playing all Jiro with 8 flashes and 12 other attacks, all just good stuff.
Well, 10. So
10.
4 Burt, 4 Ernie. So rapid punches, Harlan Barrage, 2 crate capture nets. So 0 mid attacks.
And 0 5 checks?
What's that?
0 5 checks? 5 cost?
Yeah, all 4s, all 3s. And obviously, because it's on all, I get to play Cremation, which seems pretty good with the sound waves, and Capture Evildoer, which was really good in several of my games. Obviously, it gets to play both Destined and Chivalrous, so you sort of never run out of cards. Doesn't have the same defense as like Air. No. You don't get to run things like Nice Try. You don't get to run Arrogant, which is obviously really good at the moment. You don't get to run Release.
But you
don't get to run Testing.
I mean, you get to run things like it's gonna bug me now. Celebrity Status. You get to run Destined for Mutual Success. So you can.
I'm running Celebrity Status simply because I'm running 8 flash attacks. I didn't want too many offensive buttons.
That's fine.
But you also get to run. It can't be fixed, so you have some of that stun hate. You get to run things like Evading Copy in the sideboard. I didn't come up against Mirio, so I never ordered those in because I wasn't sure what the guys were going to be playing today. So what else did we have? So the other 3 guys. So one was on Life Nezure, I think with just like all the life gain in the world. We had, I think, Evil Shigaraki 1.
Ooh.
And we had what was the other thing? Nezure, Shiggy 1, Mineta 2. No, that was it, right? Because then I played the other 3 and I got this was me. Yeah. So that's what we had.
Not really a meta matchup. No rappers, Abajikis.
No, so they're like all fairly new players. So they're not necessarily looking at like, okay, what's the meta decks? They're like, what stuff is cool, right? What stuff do I want to play? Which is totally sweet. Like, you know, one of the guys, the guy staying one player, like that's just what he's been playing since he started because that just looked cool to him, and plays it well. Like, and so I didn't want to sort of turn up with something necessarily too kind of meta. I mean, I did want to win and get my Bubble Girl, but so I thought I'd play this all Jiro because it was quite fun.
Well, that's what I thought I was going to ask you next. Was this just a fun pick to try and get Bubble Girl, or was this testing the waters for a possible Nationals deck?
Bit from column A, bit from column B.
Fair enough.
I think it's good. It probably doesn't do well against someone who realises they just need to hold high blocks and they're probably fine. Because although it's mono highs and mono lows, it's the highs that kill you really. So whether that be sound waves or barrage loop. So as long as you're not dying to a sound wave string or a barrage loop, you're probably okay. But you know it. But just even rapid punches as your first attack being a 5 low 5 that draws you a card if it hits is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like capture net's pretty decent. I was playing like the mid attack that gets plus damage or speed or something, like the sword blade, improvised blade or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's got a deadlock on it, but it was just I took the mid out, and actually a change that I liked after going through this with Philip, our Austrian friend, who obviously came second at Worlds when I played this a bit against him on TTS, was I was running like the Eraserhead 2 6-check low block thing where you could discard a momentum for -4 speed.
Oh yeah.
Just to get some low blocks and 6 checks in the deck. Because again, you don't get to run Arrogance as like a free 6 check. I didn't want to run Polite and Well Spoken just because it's rubbish. So I changed those for a couple of Heroes Inspiration. I think is that the card I'm thinking of. It's a 2/5/2 load lock, but when you check it, you can respond to remove it for either +2 speed or +2 damage. So obviously that works tactically very well with sound waves. You stack your sound waves, you stack your Heroes Inspiration, you draw your sound waves, you then check it, you give it either +2 speed or more damage, right? So that worked pretty well.
But it sounds like pretty decent. You were getting the testing in. We've got 5 weeks, well, less than 5 weeks now till Nationals, which is a bit daunting.
Yeah, I still don't really know what I'm going to play, but I wouldn't say this one's on the chopping board. I think it's possibly an option. Obviously, I just sort of flung together a sideboard. But yeah.
Well, I mean, if you speak to Mr. Hardiman, there's this weekly shout. This week, I have sent. Well, add the group chats. I have sent a Texas Smash and Prominence Burn overhaul deck.
I still think you should take Texas Smash out, but
No, it has to be in there just because of the name. And essentially 20 damage with that attack on TTS. It's just for fun. A Midnight Chaos deck that I did for the team DMS, a Nedry Air that sides into All Might 3 I made for the DMS guys. A all low overhaul life deck, which was using you used the provisional card from set 3 that puts a low into your momentum. So you play Electromagnetic Stomp, you play Fallen Lance, you put Electromagnetic Stomp into your momentum, you commit a foundation, you pick it back up.
Is this just so you could call the deck Loverhall?
No, I called it, I don't know what to do with this character.
Right, I mean, the fact that you did an all lows overhaul and you didn't call it Loverhall feels like a bad miss.
I did call it Loverhall, but I thought people would chat and call me out for making an all low deck and calling it Loverhall.
I mean, isn't that the entire point, right?
Yeah. I'm also experimenting with my Mina 1 deck from Hourly 1, which was a lot of fun, and I don't think there's many answers to deal with, but it got a lot more support with the if you played a card from anywhere else.
Yeah, I know certainly when I was chatting to some of the guys after the event, one of them was quite interested in Mina 1.
And I made a Giro deck on air where I literally just took someone else's list, swapped out Instant Explosive Release and put in Spiral Wave Surge, just so you can make strings even longer.
Yeah, but it's just very mid.
It's a mid, but it's a charge that gives itself 2 damage. So you start off as a 4 mid for 7, or you start off with Joel.
It's just very blockable is the problem.
You want it to be blocked though, because then you get extra to your next check.
I mean, you do, and also you don't. You'd rather just kill them rather than fanning about doing clever stuff.
If Nedry Wave...
I don't like Double Jab Pummel in Giro.
If Nedry Wave was a charge, I would 100% be running it in this list, so I can just go Jolt, get blocked, Double Jab Pummel, get blocked, Spiral Wave Surge, get blocked, Indiscriminate, get blocked, Nedry Wave as a 4 mid for, 12, 14?
Yeah. I think it's just doing cute stuff rather than good stuff, right?
Yeah. I have not built a deck. I have not built a deck yet, which I'm 100% sure this will get me do well at Nationals. All my decks there's surprise factor.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the art, because we've had quite a lot of art spoilt. So this is all that's available on Discord. I don't really want to rip things off Facebook. So we've had Prominence Burn plus Ultra Prominence Burn, the new number 1, and Charring Flurry. So, of course, we were expecting Endeavour to get support this set, but
that's Endeavour versus Hood on the right.
Yeah. The plus Ultra Prominence Burn is essentially the next level up from Prominence Burn that we got in his starter set. This is where he went beyond his limits to take out Hood. The new number 1 is from the Pro Hero rankings. And then this is original art of just Ice and Fire, which I use the Simpsons meme of the Aurora Borealis at this time of year, because it's a pretty card, but the Aurora Borealis actually annoys me because it has no purpose.
Well, sometimes it's art, right? It doesn't necessarily always need to serve a purpose. That's
No.
all the point of art.
Very, very true. I'm very interested to see what these cards do, and we should be finding out as of tomorrow what some of the cards do.
They said they're going to start flopping them out as of tomorrow, right?
Yeah, but it is a holiday. But I know, thanks to a bit of sleuthing, that we should be getting at least one card tomorrow. I don't know quite how it's going to work, but a minimal one card should drop tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that's what they said online, right?
Yeah. Then we got the next ones, which was annoying for me to find out about, and I'm still quite upset about this. We've got the edge shot of Folder Body Skewer. Then we've got the new Dabby free character art, which Loco tried to play off me, going, "Oh, it's just a Dabby card," but they put on the post that it was a new Dabby character. And we've got Blue Flame Emulsion, and I'm sad they didn't reach out to me. They know I'm the community Dabby guy. I'm very sad they didn't reach out to me to have these ones.
Yeah, I guess we need to put up more numbers before they start giving us stuff.
Yeah,
in terms of reveals and things.
I mean, we're definitely gonna get a new Dabby within the next 3 sets minimum. I don't know if, especially when it comes to My Villain Academia, which is definitely going to be the name of a set.
Yeah, I would have thought they're doing something with that, right?
Yeah, it's too good to pass up, but it's great to see Dabby getting some support. Some people are saying they hope he's a 5-hander, so we've got a Dabby for each one.
They don't need to do that, right? They don't need to make sure they've got one of each hand size. I know they sort of did the thing last set where it's like, oh, there's a character that's a hand size that's not had before. Yeah. Okay.
Well, they haven't said that this time, but
no.
After all the worry people had about Dabby 2, he's not really impacted anything. He's had one top 8 cut.
Yeah.
The meta
come close a couple of times. Well, I know Tam came with him.
Oh yeah, he's very, very good, and it's for me. He is just so squishy. He's probably one of the squishy 7-unders because you are getting rid of all your defense just to use his ability, and you're kind of going all in on your attack without having that extra health to act as a cushion. So yeah, I can 100% see why Dabby 2, but I would like to see Dabby 3 being more on the 6-hander side, and I think he's losing Chaos.
Possibly.
So you're 3, 4, 5-year-old spoilers. I don't know at this point, but at this point, Dabby is now in charge of the Nomu project. So he's now got his own plan going. He's now setting up his plan to deal with the heroes himself. He's losing his chaos aspect, and he's going to more controlled aspects. So I think we're going to see him on all fire void.
Yeah. Or like if he is doing sort of that sort of stuff, they could give him order, but that's, I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about the lore to really know.
But yeah, I'm super hyped for Dabby 3, and I've always said to Loco, if I get my HLC invites, I will most likely just play Dabby 3 day 1 at HLC just so I can once again say I'm the best Dabby player in the world.
Yeah, I mean, best only,
I'm not the only. There's been many Dabby 2s, but I'm the best / only Dabby 1 player. On Tuesday, I played against Luke with his RLE winning deck, and I managed to beat him with Dabby. To be fair, he had not seen most of the cards I was playing before, and it was webcam, so he didn't get a chance to read them. So it was a shame.
So what you're saying is you basically cheated.
I didn't cheat. I just didn't inform my opponent that Freezer Burn could negate an ability until he played an ability I wanted to negate.
Right. So that's definitely grey area.
He didn't ask. He did not ask what the attack did. I was like, "This is Freezer Burn." He's like, "Cool." I went once per game. He went, "Cool." I went, "It's a throw." He went, "Faith Shield." I went, "Cool." I'll blow up Foundation, negate the damage stop. He's like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, seems a little diddly.
I have messaged him a few times saying, like, IRL, I lose that match at 100%. You had me dead to rights. If you could actually read my cards and play around what I was doing.
Yeah, but were you playing Dabby 1 Stormer Blades?
No, I was playing Dabby 1 pretty much all mids. Freezer Bone was the only thing that wasn't a mid.
Right, so what you're saying is you're a big chicken.
I was playing Medjay Wave Dabby, so it was a case of block this, block this, block this. This comes at you for 15. Oh, I die.
Yeah, but that isn't Stormblade.
No, it's not.
Therefore, I stand by my assessment of chicken.
I only have 2 Stormer Blades. It's not worth it.
I mean, you do have to play 4 if you do it.
Exactly.
Some sort of.
If I can get 4 before, if I can get 4 at some point, I will play one of the Patriot events with Stormer Blades.
I mean, look, the Storm Cult is growing, and however you want to spin it, it's just so much fun. It's just so much. That card is so much fun.
It's definitely going to be fun if you can get there. But let's see. So we've got now Ambush Thrust, which is the Lock Clock card, which has just disappeared for some reason. Bloop. There we go. We've got Airy Smiles on the left, and we've got Deadly Ambush. So
the Airy Smiles one, that's the spoilered card.
That's the UI that got spoiled. Yeah, so we've got the full art version of it, but that's what people would say is a bit of a waste opportunity because we already know what this card does.
Yeah,
but yeah, Toga. I mean, we've only had 2 villains confirmed, which is Dabby and Hood. But we've got Toga confirmed in the Clash decks, and we're now seeing more Toga stuff here. So that's pretty cool.
I just wonder with those stuff is how they're sort of going to do those like Clash deck characters. Like, are they actually going to end up being bobbins?
Well, they were the first ones to get spoiled last time, so hopefully we'll get that again. We can get these questions answered as to how they're actually going to do it.
Yeah, like, are these characters actually going to be good? Are they deliberately powered down for, new players?
Yeah, I think the characters are going to be fine. I think the contents of the deck are going to be more geared towards new players.
Yeah,
because
have to wait and see.
The more simple you make a character, the easier it is to break, which is a big issue.
Kinda. I mean, I don't think like anyone's. I wouldn't say like Mirio's like broke.
No, but he's also not that simplistic to play. There's a way you can play him simplistically, but he is a very nuanced character to get where he is.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is some absolutely lovely art, and I cannot wait to see the Secret Rare Hero 2. We've got Air Force Style, which is the new Air Bullets attack from Deku. We've got Tasty Riff, the bird being completely highlighted. I think this is going to look really good with the new card art style, the new card frames.
Yeah, again, I suppose with these is this like isn't there like a where they go to a music festival?
Yes.
Type?
So that basically, if you remember me saying a few weeks ago that this set was going to be the music festival, the Hood fight, and 1A versus 1B, and so far I am 2 for 3. 1A versus 1B is the only one that hasn't been in there yet, but there's been some hints towards it. But yes, so during the music festival, really like summarized version of the plot, Class 1A realised that the rest of the school don't like.
Let's not go into spoilers, right?
But I'm not going into spoilers. This is basically like a synopsis. If you describe it, Class 1A realised that the rest of the school have come to resent them because they're the ones that are getting all the negativity put on the school. They're the ones that are involved in all the incidents. They're the ones that are like
the golden child to an extent, right?
Yeah, they're bringing in the villains, and Class 1B are perpetuating it. So they want to put on a show that inspires the class, that inspires the school, that shows them that they're not bad, that they're not doing this on purpose, that they're here and they're just being forced into these situations. And this is why, like in the group chats, so I'm saying this is Jiro's arc, because all that pressure on writing this music, is put on Jiro to come up with a song to inspire everyone around, and she delivers.
I mean, we're definitely getting a Jiro 2, right? That must be a thing.
We're getting a Jiro 2.
I'm assuming in the show, Jiro plays quite a key part in this.
Oh, don't get me started. After hearing some of the stuff that's gone down recently, I am all in on Jiro being absolutely powerhouse. But I'm not. That is major spoilers. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah. So
just suffice to say, we're almost certainly guaranteed a Jiro 2.
Yeah, we're definitely Jiro 2. The one thing I'm interested in is if we're going to get lyric cards. So the Jiro card here is called "My Heart Is Set," and the chorus to the song goes, "Hero 2, I am a hero 2, my heart is set." And so if we get Hero 2 as an SR, we could get "I am a hero 2" as a card, and we could literally have like the lyrics of the song played out as cards.
Okay, so I mean that's like a cool idea for like a naming convention, right?
Yeah, but these are the names of the cards. So the one that Jiro's singing out here is "My Heart Is Set," which is a really cool name of a card, and there's no way they don't put Hero 2 as a card as well. And if I've just stumbled across something they're doing, I'm going to be really happy with myself.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that that's what they do. Like, if this is a big part of that arc, it makes sense that they would like tie it in effectively with the names of the cards like that.
Yeah, and then on Friday they had a theme for cards, and apart from the Ochako one, I said that the meme was "Mummy Sorry." So the theme was "Mummy Sorry," because we got Tatsumi, we got the Lovely Dragon doing the Dragon Impact on one of the Overhaul villains. We got
Katsukame, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so who's the dragon thing?
That is Tatsumi. I think it's the name everyone calls it is Ryuku, but I call it Tatsumi because Dragon, Pendragon. We have an informal relationship, so I call her by her first name. Then we've got the card that everyone has been asking for throughout all of this. This is the character that everyone's wanted to set. They only briefly show up during the hero ranking and at the end of the Hood versus Endeavour and Hawks fight. This is Mirako. The first question that was asked is, what symbol is she going to be on? And the answer is Phi symbol. There is no brand new symbol just for Mirako.
I mean, I don't know who Mirako is.
So Mirako is Robin. Mirako is number 4 hero, number 3.
She's not number 3. Let me check.
My lovely assistant in the background is going to tell me when he finds out. But Mirako is one of the highest ranked heroes during the number five. During the recent season, took on multiple high-end Nomus by herself and was doing really well. Basically she's the MVP of the first half of the last season, and everyone has been after her. And I was really disappointed we didn't get a Chinese New Year special for her because it's the Year of the Rabbit.
Okay, I'm assuming that's some sort of weeby sexualization thing, right?
Yes, she is a buff anime woman of age who has thighs for days. So yes, it is one. This set, if Hawks is for the girls and the gays, Mirako is for the guys and the lesbians.
Okay, I mean, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I just want a gem card.
Yeah, and then this one here, Snap Out of It, is what hints to me that is what I'm considering confirmation that Class 1A versus Class 1B is going to be included in the set. This is depicting the scene where Deku unlocks one of the quirks hidden within One for All, and goes absolutely insane with all these whips coming out of him, and Ochako floats up and sort of snaps him out of it and saves him from basically murdering everyone in the event because they're all tied up, they're all getting crushed.
Right, okay. I'm assuming that's like a story thing where there's more to the quirk and blah blah blah.
Yeah, this is where we get started more quick, and we also get the Shinzo 2, where he's had his glow up. He's been training with Aizawa since the sports festival, and he's got this new mask which allows him to imitate the voices of anyone else around him by changing the settings. So he can now trick you into answering questions by imitating your teammates. So I'm really interested to see what they do with Shinzo 2. Now he's had this little unofficial power up.
Okay. Again, I'm assuming that's just something that goes on in the show, right?
Yeah, it's something that goes on the show, but it's something that you can adapt into a card. You could have literally Shinzo, and you could have Shinzo's mask as this really bad asset that only really works with Shinzo. Kind of like you've got Quick Creation, which it works with other ones, but really only shines under Momo. You could do the same thing for Shinzo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got that Shinzo Enhance card, right?
Shinzo Echo, yeah.
Shinzo Echo, sorry, yeah. So it would suggest we're getting a Shinzo. It might just be more back page support for, going backwards. Again, we'll wait and see what characters we're getting. Have they said the amount of characters we're getting?
17 characters, not including Clash.
Okay, and that's probably that's not including like reprints for these kind of bonus cards. Right?
So yeah, in the pre-release you get your 6 packs, and then you get an additional pack which you have an XR or an alternate art character in it, which is not something I actually screenshot over, but.
No. Yeah, I remember that bit.
Yes, have I actually got the thing? No, I haven't.
Everyone's seen that by now, right? So
yeah. So yeah, we got the things to expect from Jetburn. So more commons and uncommons aimed at improving draft experience. I know a few people. We had a lot for sealed draft. Seems like it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. I wonder if that's specifically draft or whether that's talking about limited.
Well, it says draft.
They are very different beasts. I know a lot of people like draft. I mean, I enjoy draft in general. I've not tried it in this game. I think
if it is
much more a sort of casual friendly format, I think.
If it is just going to be for improving the draft experience, I'm going to be intrigued at how they're going to differentiate abilities between sealed and draft, because although they are different, but it's going to be interesting how they put that on a card.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's not necessarily going to be calling out this thing does a thing in sealed, right, or this thing does a thing in draft. It'd be more just how the card is balanced than anything else.
Symbol combos.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
And then we got we return to more 1A player students as playable characters. So Jiro 2, Tokiyami 3, Bakugo 4. Basically, I imagine we might even see Mina 3. All the people that play a big part of the music festival arc, and because he's in every single set, we're probably going to see Deku 5 with Black Whip and Air Force.
Yeah, I mean, they've already said it's like the shoot style stuff is coming, right?
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see what that entails.
Character traits, keywords is a huge one. We've already seen this Pro Hero Breaker, and I'm very interested to see how they're going to handle the backwards compatibility, because we know that Bakugo 1 did get keywords, but Izuku 1 did not.
Yeah, and that sort of makes sense, right? There is, like, you could make an argument for the sort of justification of that, because from a story perspective, makes sense, right?
But it's whether they're going to go back and they're going to give like All Might, Midnight, Kamui, they're going to give them the Pro Hero tag.
I would imagine so. I would be surprised if they didn't. Let's say.
And if we're going to get basically alt arts of all the old cards, and how that's going to affect all the previous promos, all these people that have got champion or top 8 promos that are now going to be more inclined to have to play the new ones because they've got the keywords.
Yeah.
Because if I sit across from a new player and I go Pro Hero Breaker while playing Eraserhead, and they go, he hasn't got Pro Hero, it's like, I've got to go get my promo and I've got to show you now that yes, he actually has got it. It's just this is an older card.
Yeah.
Because they're now
Right. Awkward.
Yeah, it kind of the rules about Showdown. Showdown is worded differently, so it's not playable in the new formats. I feel like you're gonna get people saying the same thing about the older characters because the older characters are now functionally not the same wording as the new characters.
Yeah. I don't know how you fix it. Even if there is an elegant fix to it.
You'd essentially have to do the old characters on Redemption or offered as like free support with the traits put on there, maybe in the new art style.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible they did, so they would do something like that, right? And just say because obviously they printed the Kirishima ones, right?
They printed Kirishima ones.
Gave to us all to us at the HLC, right?
We got them from Cody. They weren't given to us by.
Yeah, that's what I said. By Cody.
Yeah,
I did say Cody.
Oh, so I thought you said they gave it to us, but yeah, okay.
No, but there was obviously they originally were handed out at Gen Con, right?
Yeah.
So whether they'll do something similar, but probably, and it would make sense to put them on like a redemption thing as like a cheap cost.
We've got Apple in the chat saying it'd be no different than MRP. You follow the rules of the most recent print, like Templar, when they took Breaker off it, but only for it to get updated if they get it in print. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fine. That's how it works. It's awkward, but it just is what it is.
It's for me. It's for the understanding of newer players. If you sit for cross from a character and it has no keywords, you're like, cool, I don't have to work out, and then they go, oh, it has got keywords. It's just not on this printing.
Yeah. But like, if I don't know if it's something they would do, but if they could put it on Redemption, they've
confirmed it.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, they've confirmed that they are going to be backwards compatible, and I imagine this is what a lot of the alt art characters are going to be doing, is going back in. Mm-hmm. But how many characters they actually do might be down to the popularity of the characters.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'd imagine they must be doing like the most popular ones first.
So 2 new villains, one of which is Nomu 2, aka Hood, aka High End. And I think the other one is probably going to be Gentle, because Dabby's not new, Toga's not new, so I think the second one is going to be Gentle Criminal, which is a shame because I like La Brava as well, but La Brava is probably going to be an asset or an action.
Okay. Again, don't know who any of these people are.
Gentle is essentially a YouTuber who keeps doing like pranks for crime. Ends up sort of stopping more crime than he actually commits, in my opinion. But
there's the argument about whether he should be evil or not.
And he decides that he's going to attack UA during the music festival and gets beat down. But he is kind of the how he's treated by heroes for what he was doing, which was essentially pranking UA by infiltrating it. For how he's treated, like basically he's treated like Shigaraki. Deku starts to see that maybe not all bad guys are bad, not all good guys are good. There's always shades of grey, but if he's doing shitty things, he's doing shitty things. He's no worse than like Logan Paul, in my opinion.
Well, there's pretty things that are.
But new terminology to denote a long-standing game text. I'm going to say that's Mill.
No, we've got the other one that was spoiled. Right?
Oh yes, Tenacious.
Tenacious, and I can't remember what that was.
Playable while committed.
Yes,
that's it. Tenacious. Yeah.
I imagine it's either Tenacious, and we went over Mill being a weird one to use, but obviously it must be just sort of a free use lexicon now.
But yeah, so we'll get. I think that's a better way than constantly putting on playable walker. Maybe you just go tenacious enhance if this can't it can't be fixed on a lot of stuff. It makes it a little easier to just go tenacious enhance.
Yes,
you can use it, but you can also use it while it's converted.
So long way to pro heroes. So like, I think Best Genius is probably one of the ones that a lot of people are waiting for.
Whoa,
right?
That Hawks. Let's get to it. Hawks right at the top.
Okay, but I'm talking about so this is like the teaser thing, right?
Yeah.
So we know Hawks is coming.
We do.
So I'm just looking for things that maybe we don't know are coming. So
Best Genius,
Genius, UQ, I guess the Dragon Lady, wherever it is. Like, I guess all the
Miracle is Chris Smith and Robert Gregg have been in Discord daily going, "Where's Miracle? Where's Miracle?" And then they got a little bit of a teaser in the Pro Hero rankings, and they were quiet for about a day. And then we got the Rabbit Kick, and they're absolutely down for this.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, what are the villains of this arc? Like the previous one, it was sort of, to an extent, obvious. It was like the Yakuza guys.
So
they were the villains. It was
in the arcs they're covering. There's Hood, who makes a brief appearance. Hawks, of course, who has the villain tag. Gentle, La Brava, All for One is visited in prison, which I don't think counts. And then we've got we've got like before the Hood fight. So like the Hood fights, just before that, we've got Dabby meeting up with Hawks with a duffel bag with a Pro Hero's body in it. I'm not going to go into the spoilers as to who's in there, but that's how Hawks gets into the League of Villains. He brings them the body of a Pro Hero.
Okay.
But yeah, so that happens later on down the line. But that.
Is it the one I just messaged you?
No.
No. Okay. Is that per? Okay.
But
that person is definitely dead. Those.
The one you said, yes. The one that I put in there, it gets complicated, but no, they're not.
Okay.
But anyway, going on from there before people start. I was going for that. Yeah, as Apple says, I'm not bothered about what characters actually end up coming in. I'm happy to see new characters come in. I'm really rooting for Jero 2. We are 6 sets in, and I think every other character apart from Nomu has had a second version as well. Apart from Coda, who got his first version in set 3.
Yeah. I mean, it is always the same. So for me, obviously, I don't necessarily care too much about like lore and characters. No. I just want good cards.
Unblockable attacks. Now, I was talking to, I think, Squire or Apple about this. Unblockable attacks were a big thing back when they first came out. I think there's not actually too many out there, but they always have some kind of cost behind them.
Yeah, like wasn't Fatality, that was an unblockable one, right?
I think, I don't know, but was...
Apple can correct me or tell me I'm right.
We'll see if I can... Let's have a look.
I'm sure Fatality was under certain conditions.
As a pure attack, let's see how many have the text unblockable. 32, but I imagine some. But yeah, they always have some kind of big cost behind them. So like 16 instant slashes. If you have exactly 16 cards in your discard pile, this attack is unblockable. That is oddly specific. Deadlock. This attack becomes unblockable, which would be really good to see. As we saw in the UK RLE, Luke went up to 33 foundations. If you can, and was on quite low health, if you can just go, cool, this is unblockable because you're in deadlock. Like, oh no, I've made a mistake.
Yeah.
Fatality had an alt.
I knew it was an Atality one.
Brutality was an unblockable attack, which is its name, and Fatality was uninteractable. Okay. That's what I'm glad to see unblockable attacks back. Something that you have to play around, and it's going to make things like decoy duplicate. The other one that came out in the last set, which is decoy duplicate, but which does not draw.
Broken Psyche.
Broken Psyche is going to be a good one that comes up. Spooky might come back, might make a bit of a resurgence. Eraserhead 2, just go, let's get rid of that ability to make it unblockable.
Yeah, I mean, there's always things that work around these things, right?
A musical instrument is an interesting one, and as much as I've heard people saying it's going to be a guitar, it's going to be Bakugo's drums.
Maybe, or like, again, if they're pushing the whole musician thing with Juro, it makes sense that it'll be her thing. Like, she was sort of an asset-ish character anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, it wouldn't surprise me if that was just a Juro.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's Jiro's guitar, because it's the whole thing of her parents both musicians, but she wants to be a hero. But
yeah,
there's this just brilliant scene where they're dividing it up and they just go, Bakugo, get on the drums, and he's like, why? He's like, you can play the drums. Like, I don't know. And then he just starts playing the drums and he's really good at it. He's like, oh, cool. It's like, yeah, I can do whatever I want. I'm Bakugo. It's like,
yeah.
A character who likes cards with a blank text box. Now, there's one. I completely misread that the first time.
So I can't remember the terminology from Magic, right? That this is a thing. It's like they're like vanillas, right? They're just, and again, there's sorts of mechanics. Obviously, I don't want to kind of just harken everything back to Magic, but it's sort of where I understand context from. But yeah, there was certainly things in Magic that used to sort of benefit playing vanillas. So just stuff that is effectively blank from that perspective. So it's interesting they're doing the same thing here. It's just like, yeah, there's nothing interesting necessarily on this card, but you're going to play a character, but there's a character that does stuff with that. So it's just been to see how they do.
Okay, so I've quickly gone and got the character. There's one character I would love to see have this. He's from Class 1B, and he has a blank face. He is a text box man. He displays his I don't know his name on here. Manga Fukidashi. He has a blank face. It is a text box. He can make it into manga panels. He can make it into kanji. He can make it into images. He can make it. He can change the shape of it. But it's just a speech bubble, and it's a blank speech bubble that he fills in, and I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, that makes sense. As a kind of thematic tie-in, right?
Yeah, just print this guy, and it's like, if your attack is blank, if your attack, I'd like it to be like one that can interact with Flash. It's like if your card has no non-keyword abilities, it gets such and such a thing.
Or you can give it an ability from an attack in your discard pile, something like that. So it's just like you sort of almost play a half and half mix. That might be interesting.
I would love to see combo blank text attack, just that length.
Yeah. Do we have any? Do we actually have any
Delaware Smash? Delaware Smash is just a flash.
Yeah, that's
Flash
I suppose it's a blank text.
Yeah,
box, right? But we don't have any that are
purely blank. I don't think so.
Yeah. No abilities, no traits, no nothing.
No, because most of the stuff that has breaker or like flash or something to counteract what it is.
Yeah.
Because even measured violence has abilities, but I think that's why they have to keep it with non-keyword abilities.
Yes, that would make sense.
So it's a blank textbook apart from traits, because traits are kind of a thing that the keywords are kind of like a big thing now.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool for him. But yeah.
You can see what they do with that, right?
But yeah, just the fact that he's just a blankless text man that adds text to his face would be great to just go, if this attack has no enhances or responses, give it an enhance or response from from another card.
Yeah.
Apple says there are ones that are pre MHA, but nothing in our current era.
Yeah, I didn't think we had much that's even almost necessarily pseudo blank rate. There's
The closest is probably Delaware Smash,
yeah.
which is a flash punch.
Yeah, I think Delaware's probably it's only the only one I can think of that just sort of it's just its face and that's it. That's what it does.
Yeah, everything else has kind of got enhances or responses. But moving down, a double cycle of attacks with drawbacks. So is that
Okay? When it says drawbacks, like
is it
do we have anything similar to that at the moment?
wait,
When you attack, discard a card or something along those lines, other than it sort of, I'm assuming outside of the box.
what do we think it means by double cycle of attacks? So like, does it mean there's going to be echo attacks?
No. As in so again, going back to Magic, a cycle would be a card that shares a common theme in one in each color.
Okay.
The sort of the ultimate cycle is the basic lands, right? You've got the cycle plains forest. They all tap. They all do the same thing. They all tap for one color of mana, right? I'm trying to think. So, an example of a cycle in this game would be the cycle in set 3 that says do a thing, get stunned too, right?
Okay.
So you got one punch, compression sphere, sludge, and
like attacks of power.
So a cycle is just a set of cards over like a breadth of symbols or keywords or whatever that share a commonality to them.
So I think personally, I think the two ones are going to be the mill ones that as a drawback. You fill up your discard to do something attack.
I would not say mill is a drawback. Generally speaking, if you're putting a card that mills you in your deck, it's going to be a positive, right?
And I think the other one is going to be self-damage, because I think that's where Dabby's going in this one, because he's getting more unhinged as it goes on. He's getting more.
So there might be like a cycle. Let's say there'll be 5 attacks that all do you damage they do damage to yourself. Like they've got a response. They do damage to yourself when you play them. Although
Apple says the most common was foundations that pop foundations in set 3, which okay.
As in Heroes Clash.
Yeah.
I don't remember those ones. I remember the stun 2 ones, right? So I can't remember what they were. Compression sphere, wind up punch, sludge. And I'm sure there were 2 more, but I don't remember what they are.
I mean, you had Nothing to See Here, which blew up foundations on block.
Yeah.
There was a couple of ones that there were foundations that if you interacted during an attack or during the turn, you lost the foundation for it. I do know what Apple's on about. But no, I'm interested to see where it goes, and I'm good to see more drawbacks coming in, because
Swagger. So there's only 4 of them. So it's British Swagger, Compression Sphere, Sludge, and Wind Up Punch. They're all like do a thing, gain stun through.
As good as like making 2 checks and 1 checks are, and as we've seen with the new One for All Unleashed, Stormer Blades, that's some really good 1 checks out there. I think having 3 checks.
Again, I don't think these will be like 1 checks. I imagine there'll be 3 checks that have a drawback. But so let's say you've got an attack that says response when you play this attack, lose 3 life. Do you have to play that response? I don't think you have to, right? Responses are optional.
Then it would have to be a static ability that says when you play this attack, you lose 3.
Well, they have to be a static because then they would be, or like static while this is in your card pool, your attacks get -1 speed.
Yeah, like intimidating presence.
But like on your attack when you know, so your attack at -1 speed. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with those.
No, there's also another way they could go, which was something that popped up in standard a little bit when I was playing it over the hourly. Check abilities. Having enhancers that require you to make a check against a 4, check against a 5.
Yeah, I don't wonder whether they're going to do that. I'd be interesting actually. I wonder what they could do with the design space of like a cycle of attacks with a static of you have to discard a momentum when you pay this attack. I don't know whether you could do that within the rules.
It'd more be like the cycle of attacks we had this time, which was if it was played from somewhere else, you get these benefits in case of. It'd be like Nedre Wave. Plays attack. In addition to paying attack, you may discard momentum. Get X ability. So when you play Nedre Wave,
I'm just suggesting just to play the attack on face. For no benefit, just be able to play the attack in the first place, you have to discard a momentum.
Feeling cute, idle work, endenimed. I was thinking, and then you've also
that's another sort of cycle, but that goes over multiple sets, right? Or lock breakers.
No,
right?
Those are all from set 3. Endenimed, idle work, feeling cute.
These go back, right? Because you've got things like frozen,
release,
right? You've got release.
Brute strength,
brute strength.
Yeah, they're just mainly deadlock outs.
I think everyone needs a deadlock out, right? A lock breaker.
Yeah.
So that's more a multi-set cycle of getting these in all symbols.
I think idle work, endenimed, and nothing to see here are more of a cycle because it's if you interact with the attack, you get punished because they destroy the foundation. Whereas feeling cute is more destroy foundation, get speed.
Or like you've got the cycle of the assets in set 4, like the top pro heroes, leader villains, young heroes. Like that's a sort of little mini cycle. Was there 3 or were there 4 of them?
You've got the bar, but I don't think that counts. You just had pro heroes, league of villains.
Yeah, so that's like a mini cycle. You've got the defensive actions cycle in set 4.
The next one is one I don't know enough about the game to, apart from MHA, but a spiritual reprint of a banned card. Everyone's hoping it's coordinated effort.
No, I mean, again, it really depends. Are they talking about a banned MHA card, or are they talking a banned
card?
A banned old world card? Who knows? Because they've not stated either way. It could be either way, but
I mean, Repeated Smash is a spiritual successor to Chrome Frog.
One could say it's almost like a direct upgrade to Chrome Frog, but like.
Well, you can't do characters.
I know, but it still does more.
You've got nothing really that does coordinated effort. Gran Torino was a reprint of coordinated effort. That's fair. Basic training was a...
Now, on coordinated effort, like, we were just going through my binder earlier, and Gary was like, coordinator, that's banned. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, why is this banned? I don't see why do it. It's like, right, okay. So what happens is they block your attack, you respond, you build it face down, you then pick it up with jab, you've cleared your progressive, you play jab, pick it up, play it again, and it's like, oh yeah.
Oh, you can like block. You can block, build down, manly passionate, block with something else, build that down. It's like you just get to go nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've not had a spiritual successor to Stronger in Darkness.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily need to do that.
Unwavering Slash had its Meteor upgrade. Like a spiritual reprint.
Well, no, Trotsky's was lashing, right?
Lashing. Lashing.
Unwavering Slash. Is it Unwavering Slash?
Yeah.
You sort of had. It was either Class Student or Plus Ultra. I can't remember which one. That was sort of like that. It was sort of a.
It's not the greatest.
Shocking or something like that. That sort of did it. It was like
You get to
I'm
pick.
sure
Yeah,
it
you discard a card, pick up an asset.
yeah. I can't remember whether it was Class Union or Plus Ultra. Oh no, it was the DLC.
DLC, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a rubbish slash. So that might have been, so I don't think it'll be slash. We've had lashing 0.5.
What else is there apart from Stronger in Darkness at that point then?
I don't think that.
Could be ready, get set, go.
I don't think so. I honestly, my money would be on an old band card.
Well, we've got Mimic, which is the spiritual successor to Combat Ash. I don't know what else is banned.
Oh, there's a billion and one cards.
Templar. If you have Templar's banned, it could be a Templar reprint. Which would be funny.
I don't think Templar's banned.
Did Revoke ever get banned?
I don't think so. No, because it was just cancelling things is generally fine.
We could do an entire episode just talking about what possible old cards there could be. Pro Hero Ranking Foundation. Pro Hero Ranking Foundations. To rank the pros, so that means we're gonna get a number 2.
So we've seen one, wasn't it? What was that one? It was
number 1 was the art that we got released. Number 2 was in the work in progress, sort of like look at the art style stuff.
Yeah, what was the one we've already had previewed? What was the actual card called?
We've had the art for number 1, the new number 1, and we've had number 2 in the work in progress. That's not confirmed to actually be a card.
No, we had a spoilered asset, didn't we? In those 4 cards.
Oh no, that's the actual Pro Hero Ranking asset. What this is saying.
Yeah, it's foundations.
What this is saying is we're getting individual foundations. Let's have a look.
I misread.
The Pro Hero Billboard. So we're gonna get Hawks is number 1. Sorry, Endeavor's number 1. Hawks is number 2. Best Genius is number 3. Edgeshot is number 4. Miracle is number 5. Then if we go beyond this, it's going to be really interesting. Because we get Crust at number 6. Camry Woods at number 7. And hopefully it will get going because there's a few people are going to get support here.
We know Lady 2's coming, right?
We know 1 and 2 are definitely coming. We know, but... So
is Morkheim not in the rankings? Is Dan Morkheim not there?
In the top 10, we've got Ryuku, who is confirmed to be in the set. So after 5 we got 6 at Crust, 7 Camry Woods, 8 is Washy Wash, who is literally just a washing machine, and I am so hyped if they make that a character because
I wonder if they do all 10 of these pro heroes amongst the set. And plus ultras and stuff.
I don't even.
And then there is literally 1 to 10 pro hero rankings.
They can make this one.
I wonder how far down they're going. Because we know there was like pro hero ranking number 2 or whatever, right? That was in the preview.
And we got new number 1. But if we get Washy Wash, I don't care if it's just a 2-card set of Washy Wash and number 8 hero. We got Yojiri Mushu, who is a big samurai guy, and then we got Ryuku Tatsumi, who is number 10. And then you've got people like Gangorka, Shindo, who is actually in the set at like 12 and 13. Mount Lady at 23, and Mandalay all the way down at 411.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so if we get 10 foundations for the top 10, you can pretty much guarantee those are the characters going to be in. We've had Edgeshot cards. We know Best Genius is definitely coming. We know Ryuki is definitely coming. We know Miracle is definitely coming. So we may get just 10 foundations that is going on about. Cool. It would be very, very cool. I'd be absolutely hyped to see that go down. And I'd like to see them all with like pro hero enhances on their ranks, or even their own character enhances on their pro hero card.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one, also at the win condition. Don't say the word.
No, mill isn't a win condition. It's because you get to cycle.
It's a misery condition. So, what is this going to be like?
Removed from game Exodia. If you have these 8 cards removed from game, you win the game.
I mean, is it going to be like a cheese standalone thing?
Possibly, it might be if you have all 10 pro hero.
The cheese standalone.
No.
Okay, so again, going back to Magic cards, this was in like one of the silver bordered sets, and it was literally like an enchantment that says if you've got this in play and then nothing else in play at all, like no lands and no cards in hand, I think, then you win the game. It was just called the cheese stands alone.
Fair.
So you literally just have to have just that in play, and that's it.
So you'd have to. It'd have to be if you have only these 10 cards removed, you win the game.
Maybe, or like you get, or it's like you have an enhance on an attack that says like fatality, like again, like you're bringing that back where it's like if this connects, if you've got to meet a condition to do the enhance. If this hits and does damage, they die.
Well, that's not a new win condition. Damage is still a win condition.
No, but it's like death touch, right? It's like it doesn't matter as long as I can do this enhance. No matter how many life you want, as long as it does 1 damage, you're dead.
I get, but that would be more an effect for damage to make a win condition. A brand new, a new alternate win condition says to me it's alternate from damage.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I don't know what else they would do in this game.
You have like, if you have all 10 pro hero rankings out,
that would be sweet. That would actually be, but again, they're not going to share symbols, right? So
yeah, it doesn't say it's a constructed alternate win condition. It could be a draft win condition.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. No, it'd be
especially if you make them commons.
Yeah, no, maybe like all of the, like if they make all those 10 or however many hero ranking foundations hit, all share like good or something, right?
Yeah.
They've all got good. Then you could do that as a win condition. Again, go back to Magic card like Maze's End.
I will never respect a endeavor that has the good symbol.
Yeah, I know.
No, there should never be an endeavor that has a good symbol.
Look, I think to make the alternate win condition like fun and usable, like it needs to be a thing you can aspire to in constructed, right?
Yeah. But that's this kind of thing. Maze End was a limited win condition. It was very rarely pulled off in constructed.
No. There was a constructed deck about doing Maze.
There was one, and it was very janky, and it very rarely won.
No, I'm sure it played at a Pro Tour. I'm sure there was people playing Maze at Pro Tours.
Oh, there's always
like it was a thing.
But yeah, no, that makes sense. But let's move. Okay, so let's move on to.
So yeah, it could be something like that. It could be, you need to have.
So speaking of new abilities, new game text on the Jet Burn cards, we have enhanced. This attack cannot be blocked by copies of cards in your rival's card pool. Love that. That to me is just chef's kiss of an attack, of an enhance.
Yeah, how much that comes up, I don't know. It's rare to think it's going to matter.
But how many times have you drawn double breaker foundation, double breaker foundations? Go, I'll hold these so I can block.
Really? I think the main thing that works against is struggling with stories, right?
Well, no, because it's not a copy in your card pool anymore.
Yeah, so it doesn't work against that. So I don't know what that card does. Anyway.
It's good against really tight decks that are always blocking with the exact same thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that does.
I really like it because it's going to stop double. It's going to stop double arrays. You can't block with arrays after you've played an arrays.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the one thing I can think of it doing.
It makes arrays a lot harder to get down. It's got no drawback. It's not a flip.
Same with Summon Dark Shadow.
Yeah.
Like that.
If you play Summon Dark Shadow to get the check, you can't block with Summon Dark Shadow.
Yeah.
If you've got a Ice Storm or a Dark Shadow Ruin, if you've got anything with the breaker keyword on there, you can't do it again. It's going to make Momo have to play. It's going to not do much against Momo, but it's going to make Momo have to be a bit more careful what they pick up.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make sculptors a little bit harder to block because they like to have copies.
We start one momentum after the start phase. Still one rival foundation. That feels like a character ability. It's going to be What's his name?
Crust?
No, the Little Seal, number 2. What's his?
Little Seal.
The Literal Seal.
Oh, Selkie.
Selkie, yeah, it's going to be Selkie too. It does seal things.
Maybe
Anyway,
not.
That feels like character ability to me.
Could be best. It could be Best Genist.
Possibly, yeah.
Could be Camry Woods.
Yeah.
Camry Woods might get a bit more defensive play. Crust and Washi could also have that kind of ability. Enhance. If you are not in deadlock, this attack gets +1 damage for each of your ready foundations.
I also like them for using this design space. Apple, like the reverse deadlock stuff. That seems really good.
It seems to be promoting a more aggressive play there. You get it down early, and you just go, cool. If I check well, my attack's at least going to always have +3. It kind of just if it's got chaos, it's going to make all for one like great all the way through because it's just a case of I get a lot of early damage, and then when I get into deadlock, I get a lot of late damage.
Yeah. So you may choose not to clear this card during the end phase.
That feels to me like
That feel like there's obviously going to have to be a reason to do it, right? So maybe that's one of these like an attack with a drawback. So let's say you got an attack with a static of while this is in your card pool, attacks get -1 speed, right? So it's working against your stuff, but then you can choose not to clear it, and it's giving then your opponent's attacks -1 speed in their turn. Just some of those ones.
It could also be a situation like Chronostasis, which allows you to play cards in your card pool again. You may choose not to clear this card during the... I guess you can't choose an opponent's card, but it's very obscurely worded.
No, it's just like it's going to be an attack. You can choose not to clear it during the end phase, so it's going to have that's doing a thing.
I guess if you've got like a Texas or a double jab in hand and yet you're not comfortable on drawing that many attacks, you can just keep a charge in your card pool or in a punch and just immediately lean in.
Yeah, it'll either have static or it will have a card pool response or not.
It'd be interesting to see what this is going to combo with. Response, commit 1 foundation. After this attack is played, it gets +X or -X speed equal to the difficulty of the commit foundation. Oh, cool. It's fairly decent speed height.
It's Garbo loading, not for speed.
Yeah. It's more not new training method, alternate training method, the Deku one from set 3. Constantly improving. It's constantly improving for negative speed.
No, this is... Oh, yeah. I mean, it works against Flash, right? So it's like Specialist of Sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how good that necessarily is, because committing a 2-cost foundation for -2 speed ain't a great rate. Committing a 1 is pointless.
I guess it depends on the symbols. If it's something that you can re-ready, if it's...
Yeah.
I mean, during my turn, I'm more than happy if it's got air on it to drop a Specialized Sound Waves, then respond, commit Nice Try for +2 speed.
Yeah, again, so like, you know, if you've got stuff that works with it, so committing a Nice Try for +2 speed, I know this is going to ready on your turn, it's sort of free.
Yeah. It also gives you an excuse to play that 4-cost foundation from set 5. The only reason you'd want to play that 4-cost foundation is to get that ability. Villain Enhance, Tenacious.
So, our Apple's saying, so we know Hood works around high difficulty foundations.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So because you've got that thing that, you know, building this costs 3, but it's actually costs 5.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is a Hood card, right?
Yeah, if you play this to build, it costs gets -5 difficulty. So that could be a very good Hood card. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
But Villain enhance tenacious. Flip your next check to play a card gets +1. Seems decent.
Seems like obviously tenacious. We know he's played well committed. Yeah, sorry, just going back to that one, Apple. So if you go back to on the UVS games, their sort of design diary thing of the card layouts, there is a no-move foundation that is a 5 difficulty foundation, but it says when you're building this, it only costs a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, -3. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you're building it, it's got -3 difficulty. So that kind of lends itself to the idea that where No-Mu 1 is all about doing damage equal to the attack's difficulty, No-Mu 2, in theory, is all about having high difficulty foundations.
If it's chess symbol, that's nuts, because you literally just go commit +5 speed. That, oof. Oh.
Yeah, but he might get the damage. So he can get the speed looking for damage. So, like, again, we'll have to see how this all shakes out.
I imagine he's going to have something for damage as well. HUD was an absolute nightmare for them to deal with. So that is really interesting. Yeah, I completely forgot about that because it's a work in progress card.
Again, it might be like a 7-hand size No-Mu, we don't know. But yeah, that just like if you're a villain, just play well committed flip to get a check +1 is a very strong ability.
Enhance your attack with no abilities. This guy gets +1 speed. I 100% calling it for this guy. We don't get a preview, but I'm saying that this guy's in the set. Come at me, UVS.
Yeah. It would make sense. He's going to have. But the issue with him is going to be, like, how do you get enough attacks with no abilities, right? So unless he has an ability to
twice per turn,
response, you may seal your attack, right? Which means it's got no abilities.
Well, what if it's once per turn, seal a attack, so you can do it on your opponent's turn as well?
Yeah, some of those lines. So, like, being able to seal an attack once per turn seems pretty decent.
And then it's got a UR that's like +1 speed, +2 damage for each blank card in your card pool.
Yeah. Like, that feels like, giving him the ability to seal his own attacks is a way, because, again, Apple, I'm assuming you can confirm this. If I seal an attack, it's got no abilities.
Yeah.
And thus
it's treated as a blank card, so yeah.
It's very useful having a judge in chat.
It would only it would apply to, I think it would only count for like things like combo and stuff that use printed, but we'll hopefully Apple will be able to go. Combo enhance this attack
keywords, but
combo enhance this attack gets +X damage, X equaling the printed damage of the attack preceding it in your card pool. That's decent. That's pretty decent.
Depends on the combo, right? It could be combo 3 damage or combo. Well, a combo 3 damage doesn't make sense, but like combo 3 difficulty or something, or depends what the combo requirement is.
If this is a HUD one, that's gonna be nuts. But I'd love to see it be able to be used with Hulking Grimace or Prominence Burn, where you can just go, you blocked my 5 high for 10. Here's a new attack that gets the +10 damage.
And then, enhance mill 1, your rival mills 1. Again, it's interesting that mill is actually just a common use word now. But just you mill 1 to mill your rival 1 feels weird. It's probably going to be Kinjiro, isn't it? Like, I would be surprised if this isn't what Jiro's doing, is manipulating that top of the deck.
It is what Earphone Jack was doing, so it is like...
And again, Jiro manipulates that top of the deck stuff. So, again, I wouldn't be surprised if this is part of Jiro's kit.
I mean, my first thing is, that is not once per turn. That is every enhanced step, so I am all in on that.
Yeah, I know, get out, bro.
And 2, if that's not a unique... I'm going to have to build some toxic pile of 100 cards.
Yeah, but then you never see your card.
I will always see it. The heart of the cards demands it.
Apple, we demand an answer if you're still here. Does sealing an attack mean it's an attack with no ability?
So new keyword combinations. We've got charge, flash, slam, taunt. Fury range combo high block, which feels very similar to the Plus Ultra card we got in set 5, which I think was ranged combo high block, high attack.
Yeah, I mean the stuff that's like all about high blocks, right? We've had like block zone combos before.
Breaker 2 charge tech, ranged combo breaker.
Charge tech. Obviously, hopefully Chronostasis has that on his symbols because he wants to do that.
Yeah.
Combo with breaker is interesting. Yeah, charge, flash, slam, taunt, again, interesting combination. Punch weapon.
Punch weapon seems really interesting to me. I don't think this is a Midoriya card because he's all about the range and the shooter style now.
No, I really hope Midoriya isn't about punches. I hope he's like kick and charge or kick and fury or just something that isn't fucking punches.
I would love to see this as like a Hawk's weapon where it's just a big fist of feathers.
Possibly. Yeah.
And then slam, deadlock, stun, 4.
What is Hawk's Feather block zone? What's Hawk's Feather's block zone?
Hawk's Feather, I think, is a mid. It's been way too long.
Yeah. It's not on.
No. But yeah, this is why I'm. So I was well sleuthing today to find this information. I came across this, and it's something that people will want to be keeping an eye on. Yeah, Jetburn community card reveals. So tomorrow we will be having My Hero Meta be doing the first reveal, and it's got the date. It's got the date on there saying it's the 4th of the 9th. We've got My Hero Meta. And it's going to be and it doesn't say what it's going to be, but it does say character. So it looks like My Hero Meta will be spoiling a character at some point tomorrow.
Yeah. I think they're trying to do this as more of a schedule that like they've learned from last time. Right. So I think they're planning to have a bit of a schedule here for reveals. I don't know whether they're going to be doing more of their own reveals tomorrow. I know they said there's going to be.
I doubt it. Generally, UVS is closed on Mondays, and then it's also a holiday for them, I believe, tomorrow. So I think this may be the only text card reveal we get, and then we might get something Tuesday or Wednesday.
But yeah. So we're now going to start getting cards, right? I know Tam has said he's got one. I would be amazed if Levi didn't get one.
Oh, Levi's 100% at one. I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't got Miracle.
Possibly. Hopefully UA. I'm assuming UA will get one.
I imagine UA will get one. I imagine Wazir will get one again. Ty's House of Cards will probably get one. Dobbers might get one. They've been around a lot longer than us, and
I think Dobbers are actually. I'm sure I've heard that Dobbers are going to get one on the grapevine.
That would be really cool. I know they were offered the chance to commentate the EURLE. I was told that, so it's great to see the Dobbers getting a lot more recognition because they put a lot of hard work into what they're doing.
Yeah.
So last thing to go over, and which we could mention on that, is ban lists. We've got the next ban list dropping probably Wednesday due to the holiday, and because of how the ban lists work, only coming on the first Tuesday of each month, unless UVS make a decision to have their ban list instantly come in, this is the only ban list we've got until Nationals.
I don't see anything happening. I don't see anything appearing on the list.
Yeah, and on Friday I put a poll up into the UK Facebook group, and 52% of people agree with you. Nothing's going to happen. I didn't, as you can see from it, I didn't add anything to this. I had a Kirishima free because it is the right of all Kirishimas to be errated, and I put nothing on there. The closest was It Can't Be Fixed, which has got quite a bit of support from people. Repeated Smash was a little bit behind, but overwhelmingly people are like seem to be quite happy with the format of what's going on with the cards.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly stuff where if it got banned or whatever, I wouldn't be surprised, right? There's stuff that wouldn't surprise me, but I don't expect anything.
But let's take a look. So UVS on Monday, UVS added a tournaments tab. Suspiciously, a week after the Dobbers website, University's Cards added a tournament tab. But they added information as to the amount of cards that were played in every deck within the top 16 of the hourlies for this season. And within 58 decks, there were 228 back alley haymakers. So pretty much
that sort of makes sense, right? It's just been life and good decks.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much every single deck was running 4 of them, a minimum of 3. Then it can't be fixed with 56 decks running 210. Self-sacrifice with 58 decks running 180. Destined for mainstream success being with 152 in 141. Passing the torch requesting new training method, Chivalrous, Hard and Jab, and Electric Jolt. So generally you're looking at the Good and Earth packages, followed by the Air Zero stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, staples aren't inherently bad, right? And yeah, like I said, there's some things that I would not be surprised if, like, you know, there's some cards like it can't be fixed, things like that. That, like, if they decided, yeah, we've had enough of this card, it can go. I'll be like, okay, fair dues, I get it. But I don't expect it.
No, I don't expect it can't be fixed to get hit, but I wouldn't be like outraged if it did. It wouldn't be a ready get set go. It wouldn't be one of those cards where I'm like, oh, I never expected that card to get hit. It essentially early on turns off an entire keyword. Once your opponent gets to like 9-10 foundations, it becomes a bit more detrimental to your opponent because you're like, do you want to stun 2 or do you want to have 2 commit or do you want to go into deadlock? And that's where it kind of becomes a detrimental. Back out Haymaker is just pure value, but it now has promo plot armor. And I don't care how many people say it isn't a thing, promo plot armor is a thing.
Yeah, it sort of is, isn't it? Like, I mean, I think if they truly thought it was an issue and detrimental for the game for Back Alley to still remain in the game, they would ban it.
The only card that I think people would be surprised if they get hit, but I wouldn't be, is New Training Method. Because of how much value it gives Overhaul. The fact that he can build a lot of high-cost foundations quite quickly, and he can keep recurring it. He can literally keep playing it on 2s, building these foundations.
But New Training Method's got the promo armor, right? But probably that's a year ago, so it's probably okay. As Apple says, it's telling it's all art's got to be on a watch list. I agree. Like, it's also got like a very good block on it as well. Is it a 1 high or is it a 2 high? I can't remember.
1 high. A 0 cost that builds additional 1 on stun as a 1 high block. That's the people's biggest issue with it, is the fact it's a 0 cost with 1 high block.
I think if it's going to be banned, it's on the basis of like the same axis as Stronger in Darkness. Right?
Yeah. And
everyone was. I was having a discussion earlier with Gary as to like what these cards being on the ban list, and everyone was surprised Stronger in Darkness got banned. I was not, and I was calling for it to be banned because it does 2 things, right? It's unassuming, but it's got a very positive effect on the game, and it's a 0 diff. Like zero diffs have an excellent effect on the game. Are very powerful because they're zeros. They guarantee your builds. They make everything better. So removing zeros that you want to play from the pool and therefore reducing the consistency of your builds is a big deal. Like, I think keeping Eri safe is probably where you want stun hate to be. Like, as in, you can press the stun button and it might be negated. It's not actively punishing you for pressing the stun button. Um, but
I think.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes. I don't expect Haymaker will go. Like,
No.
I think Haymaker is sort of very much okay. It's just a value engine. It's fine. Self-attack is fine. You're not going to ban that. Desking is fine. Passing the torch, it's a 2-diff. It's fine. Requesting, just got a promo. And again, requesting could get a ban. I think it might take too many 0-diffs away from certain symbols.
Yeah, Chaos losing another 0-diff would be absolutely detrimental. And
again, it's in that same boat as it can't be fixed of. It does too much as a 0.
But it doesn't.
Method, I wouldn't see. Chivalrous, I don't think so. Again, Chivalrous almost has lost a lot of luster recently, I think. Because there's a lot of decks where actually giving them an extra card you really don't want to, even on defense, even on offense. Like, just playing against an overhaul, sure, and like drawing a card, like giving them a card on defense is really bad. Jab, he's got hard nabs, he's got the plot armor. I think Jab is fine these days.
Going back to Chivalrous in the One with Nature days was perfect. It was a high demand card because giving your opponent a card when they can't block anyway made no difference. But now giving your opponent a card when they can, and them drawing into that block zone is going to be absolutely brutal.
It's still a card, right? It's still a very playable card, but it's not a bonkers busted card like it sort of was before.
I think you can't.
It's not a card without a drawback anymore. It never used to have a drawback, right? I always felt like I'm playing Chivalrous, I'll just pop it, it doesn't matter, you're not blocking my shit anyway. Whereas, I was playing 4 of them today in Giro, and there were a lot of times I'm like, I want the extra card, but I don't want to flip Chivalrous and give you another box.
I'm primarily
but it feels like Chivalrous has a cost now, it never did.
I'm primarily running Chivalrous just to get around things like Evil Gaze that have started to come back and stuff like that. But I think you can't get rid of requesting because it is literally one of 3 cards in Chaos that acts as stun hate. There's successful results, new training in first day class, and requesting assistance. And I know I've known people who told me before that not every set needs to have answers to everything. But if you just literally limit the stun hate of a symbol to a card that requires momentum to ready itself and a card that flips itself and readies, that's not going to be great.
No, I don't see requesting going because it has that setup cost, right? You can't do it without having a momentum. There is a cost to it. I think it's fine.
Now that I think about it, and after playing against Luke on Tuesday and actually playing it myself, new training method might be the only one that gets hit purely because of the value that Overhaul gives it.
Maybe. Well, I don't think anything will go. I could see it can't be fixed. I could see new training method, maybe. Like something to tone down those top 2 decks of Mirio and Overhaul, right? Okay, how do we cut back this life engine? We know 100% isn't going anywhere.
It can do, but this is the first time we've had SRs that are this playable. 5% was really good and still is in certain decks, but it was never a 4 of in your deck as a standard. Repeated 100% smash is a 4 of in punch decks, even in some non-punch decks, just because it minimum readies 1 and it can turn off Breaker for an entire turn.
Yeah, it's just I don't see it going anywhere.
No.
So it's okay, if we want to tone down the life symbol, because I think that's sort of what it is more than anything. It's just okay, how do we tone down the life symbol?
It's new training method. I would hit new training method. If you want to tone down life, you want to tone down Mirio's aggression, you want to tone down. You get rid of their ability to build in a high cost foundation quickly, especially in Overhaul, who gets to go play rapid punches, play back alley, check a carbo loading, then go flip new training method, pick up the carbo loading, play a couple more attacks, then go, I'll play a face down. On a 2, play new training method. build it down, build in carbo loading, which usually would have cost them 6 or 7. You get it for free committed. Next turn, that's ready to go.
Yeah, I don't we hit. I could see something in that sort of life value package going.
Yeah. I don't mind Overhaul being able to do it with things like Wall Cling or Chivalrous or like racing there, where
having the defensive pieces is fine, but sort of taking away those value pieces.
Being able to add one to your hand, build one down for free, commit it essentially for free, and if you and the fact it readies itself on life gain is like with Cabal and Splat. I'm talking myself into new training method being an issue in Overhaul.
Okay, I'll throw another one out there that's conceivably to go. Tongue Whip. I don't think it would. Very, very good. Undercosted for what it is. I'm just looking literally through the life list. I don't think release is going. Release could go. I think it's probably the best defensive foundation in the game. I think it's probably a bit too good for the cost for a 0. It's got the 4 check. It's probably fine. I don't think release will go anywhere.
Release and.
But yeah, I mean, looking through this life package, new training method feels like the thing to go if you're going to kill something.
If they wanted to hit something to scale it down without killing it, similar to what they did with Tokiyami, where they hit a card that was giving it a lot of value and brought it down from S plus tier back to an S tier, I think new training method is the one you hit.
The only other one would be passing again, but that's getting plot armor, isn't it?
Yeah, well, passing's got plot armor. It's not that big of a problem.
No, I don't think it is. I'm just literally looking at, okay, let's look at this list. What are the things that I could conceivably see banned? And they're the only ones.
I'm just thinking back to...
Neither of them should be, necessarily.
The games I've played against Overhauls in the past couple of weeks, because when I was testing for RLE, the biggest thing that was annoying when I saw it happen was literally just attack, play face down, you're ready for the next thing, go, new training method, building this. It's like, okay, cool. I think new training method be able to cheat in a foundation, which they should have actually had to use resources on. Even though it comes in committed, Overhaul does not care about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to tone down the Mirios and Overhauls of this world. But I don't necessarily think they need to be. But I think you're right. Actually, I think new training method, if they wanted to tone it down, was probably the place to go.
If they hit passing the torch, all you see is a rise in leaping right hooks, which basically becomes a 5 for 2, which feels really bad. Well, a 5 for 4 with an Overhaul with flip, which allows to draw a card, which always feels bad blocking. Overhaul has lots of ways to fill his hand. Passing the torch is great on defense. When you run out of cards, but if Overhaul's going into his turn with cards in his hand, you're feeling good because that cost of defending is going to hit them because they have to play a card. They have to discard a card from hand. But the only one on this list I actually think is abusable to the point of every turn is new training method, and I think that's what Ready Get Set Go got banned because it gave you too much value in your opponent's turn. New training method will probably get hit for the same reason because it gives you so much value on every turn in Overhaul. And yes, it's only one character, but Stronger in Darkness got hit, and that really only worked in Tokiyami and Midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see them being hit. I could see it now.
I came into this expecting to not be like, yeah, no, the list is fine, and then I see new training method. I think about how Luke played it on Tuesday. I think about how I've been playing new training method in life on Mina 1 and stuff like that. I think Yeah, no, that's an absolute nightmare. Apple says...
I would be surprised if it did,
Yeah.
but I could see it.
I don't think Jero is enough of a problem at the minute for new Destiny information success, because the biggest thing about, apart from outside of Jero, with the amount of actions and assets that are now being run, Destiny has become a lot harder to predict. Only really Jero, and if you're running some other weird cards that let you look, you're kind of okay, or let you stack the top of your deck.
Yeah, I don't see Destined going.
No. The amount of times when I was playing live and I was running when I was playing good and I was running Destined and I go Foundation and it was a ready get set go, I was like, oh okay, cool, yeah, no, I don't that's the thing.
Yeah, like my picks would be Can't Be Fixed, New Training Method, Tongue Whip, if they're gonna go with anything.
If it Can't Be Fixed gets hit, the stun meta will go out of control. I think it Can't Be Fixed is holding back a lot of strategies at the minute.
Possibly, and they might feel like they need It Can't Be Fixed as like a barrier to that kind of stun-based stuff.
I think the Back Alley Haymaker and It Can't Be Fixed are a package deal. Because if you get rid of It Can't Be Fixed, Back Alley Haymaker gets a lot stronger against Earth decks. Against life decks, they've still got Keeping Gary safe. Good decks have got a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of okay with Earth decks going in the bin though.
But yeah, Apple saying stun needs to come back. It resolve issues like the RLE final. Yeah, and honestly, I've been looking at my Mina 1 deck that was running super stun from the RLE 1 where I got into the top 16, and it was a really interesting and fun deck that I enjoyed playing, but I looked at lists like this requires so much stun to pop off, and now there is Heroic Assistance, there's Keeping Gary safe, there's a lot more cards being run which stop stun.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you want stun to be viable as that wall breaker, right? I think it does need to exist in some form as being viable.
I mean, last RLE, I was running Prone to Dry Eyes and Keeping Gary safe, and I only had those in there which were stun hate, and when I was on stream, like, oh yeah, Brett's got so much stun hate, like, I've got 6 cards that deal with stun, that's not a lot of stun hate. But no, I mean, I think we're probably going to wrap it up a bit earlier here, because kids
not even that much earlier, it's still nearly 2 hours.
I mean, it's an hour earlier than last time, but Back Alley is probably the best stun because it's if you've got a 0 on you, it's a draw card or negative progression because you get to build, and it's stun 2, so essentially a 6 speed for 5 minimum with EX, so it can get you going even further. But honestly, I think Back Alley is hoisted by its own petard. There's so many people prepared for it. And that's why so many people are now moving to off-zone attacks, because everyone is kind of running a few mid-blocks just to help deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, mids are fairly poor right now. Like, I don't really want to run mid attacks. It just feels like there's too many mid breakers going around.
The only mids I'm comfortable running, really, are Hardened Jab and Rejuvenating Smash.
I don't even like playing Jab. I think Jolt is still fine, but in general, I don't want like a dirtly mid, like I know it's sacrilege, Brett. I'm sorry, but like double jab pummel.
Oh no,
don't want like
it's
like a dirtly like 3 speed mid.
No, that's just it, and that's why for the webcam events I've run it, but that's why this year I kind of haven't run Azores or double jabs or any of these mid attacks that did really well for me last year, because I feel the way the current meta is set up, everyone is always holding at least 1 mid block, maybe 2, and the game has slowed down significantly. When it was a slugfest of I'm going to kill you with hold no defense and see if you can kill me, that was where my Dari deck sort of shined. It's like, cool, going up against Ojo, it was a case of you get +3, I get +3, one of us is going to die. In this one, playing against Luke, playing against other people, they will happily sit there and build for 3 turns and then keep sculpting and then launch this massive string of attacks going, you need to block everything or you're dying this turn. It's like, okay, yeah, no, this is much more terrifying than the JoJo meta of punching each other in the face till someone gives up. This is controlled build defensive sculpting into a I'm going to now try and kill you turn.
Yeah.
And
I think there's still decks that can do the I'm just gonna swing for the fences type thing, right?
And that's what the Amajiki players were saying, is because if they come across decks which advance at early aggression, they kind of don't know what to do because they need 3 or 4 turns to set up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those kind of decks that do that can often overextend early and end up in the position they want to put their opponent in, where they end up being low down and their opponents are still defending from a full health.
Yeah.
Perfect example of that is my game against Mike on the stream, game 3. I get him down to 4, I'm on full health, and then he plays 2 attacks and wipes my entire health out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, cool, I overextended, I died, and yeah, there's nothing I could do.
Paid the price.
Yeah, pay the price. We were going into overtime anyway, but I think, so, Hourly Rochester coming up, another chance for you to extend your lead on the table.
I hope so.
Bubble Girl is now legal. I'm hoping to get those Bubble Girl points.
It's not that likely, is it, buddy?
We don't know.
I mean, it might happen. I'm not a Bubble Girl believer.
No. It's unlikely to happen. I'm very surprised that, Fourth Kind hasn't made the table yet.
I think part of that is because Stun's banned.
I've heard rumours that the Midnight Wave is coming. There are people now looking at Midnight more and being like, yeah, this actually got legs in this format. So I'm hoping although I failed to get my points from the table, someone's going to come in and get me points for Midnight.
Yeah. Again, I think Midnight's very good.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully the Storm cult is growing. Represents Storm of Blades lovers. I think that probably that wraps it up for this week, right?
Yeah, I think that definitely wraps it up. We won't be back next Sunday because it'll be the finals of Rochester, so it'll probably be
Tuesday.
Most likely Tuesday, depending if we play. But we'll definitely try and get something sorted out.
And as usual, thanks everyone for joining in chat. Thanks for being our resident judge, Mr. Apple. And obviously, they watch on YouTube, do all the things, like, subscribe, comment, type algorithms, all that sort of stuff.
And
thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah,
have a good
time, guys.